My YouTube friends, it has been quite a while since I've uploaded a video, but I am back and we are going to be looking at building and planning a diorama of a scrapyard, and we'll also be painting some figures or items. I start with a trolley jack that will be used in this diorama. I first removed it from the supports using a flush cutting plier, and now I'm going to paint the body with some Humbrol enamel paint. I've just showed you it's a satin paint, so it's not a gloss. And make sure to mix the paint very, very, very well, otherwise you get some lumps in the paint, and that is not easy to handle when it's on the paintbrush, especially when you're painting this small. And for this one, I'm using a 00 paintbrush, which is still quite big for painting small details like people, etc. in HO scale. But luckily, as you can see, this is not extremely small, but the 00 brush does a very good job, or 20 brush. It's not too small, it covers quite a large area in one go, and it is quite controllable, so that works quite well for painting this. And I opted to clean the brush every time before changing to a new color of paint, instead of using 3 or 4 brushes that then has to be cleaned. So here you can see I'm busy painting the body, and you don't have to be too careful, although care now does help a bit later on, because we are going to give it a second coat of paint a bit later, as this jack is made from transparent resin, so it will require a second coat to make sure that it is not translucent, but that it is opaque. And then some of the other details are silver. I'm using Vallejo silver, and give the bottle a good shake, and just what leaks from the cap is enough, because I'm just going to paint the handle and the little cup that goes in underneath the car. And don't forget to paint the sides. And there I had a bit of a blunder. As you can see, the paint spilled onto the little arm that lifts up, but nothing to worry about, as we will be giving the body a second coat later, and then also the handle. And when there's no more space to touch, you revert to other ways of holding it down. So I am using a micro brush that no longer has a brush on it, and as you can see, it's been used for other things like gluing, etc., and it is now only used to hold things down. So that holds it steady while I am painting the handle. And also of the handle, you can see there's a bit of a oops from the paintbrush, but again, nothing to worry about, as we will be giving the body of that jack a second coat, which will cover those messy bits. The wheels I'm painting with Tamiya, not acrylic, enamel black, rubber black, because the wheels are rubber. And for that, the same brush is used after being cleaned, and very, very gently touch the wheels with the paint. It's almost, you don't paint them, you just touch it and the paint flows. And also make sure to paint the tread of the wheels. Now we're coming back to give the body the second coat of the red satin paint. Again, holding it steady, and then just let the paint flow and cover where it has leaked the silver onto the red. And just be very, very careful. No haste, because in this case the old saying, haste makes waste, is very, very true. When painting things this small, do not be in a hurry. Take your time and work very, very carefully. In Afrikaans, there's a saying, haastige hond verbrand sy mond. In other words, a dog that is too eager normally burns its mouth. And the same is applicable if you are trying to paint too quickly, you're going to make a mess. So while this jack is drying, or the paint on it is drying, let us go to the base of this diorama and start putting things down. I want to use that jack to have a car with a flat tire. So I'm going to place the jack on the diorama where the road will be eventually. And then I will look through my selection of vehicles. That one will not work. That one needs to be painted, and some of these will end up in the diorama as scrap since they did not print too well when I printed them. Or otherwise, like the little pickup truck on the right hand side, both the mirrors broke off when I took it off the support, so that is also just good for scrap. This little one has had an innings or two already, and you can see the bottom doesn't look too good, but it is quite usable still in this diorama, standing on the jack, being lifted up in the air on the one side. And then I'm looking for the flat tire that is being replaced, or the tire taken off. That will be added right there behind, and then we will find a figure for that, but that will only be a bit later on during the build of this diorama. And so that is just giving me an idea. There's a vehicle going past, also a little Nissan 1400 pickup truck. And then I can see, okay, the cars are a bit big for that area in the scrapyard. There's a smaller one. And maybe the two buckies can stand side by side if the scrapyard owner is lucky enough to have two of those to strip for spares. And there's another one. That's starting to look good, and it leaves me some open space for some other items to come into the scrapyard, because one of my other dioramas that's already been sold was just vehicles and a forklift, where this one I want some other scrap metal as well. And there you can see a piece of the scrap metal, a bicycle. But unfortunately, when I took it off the printer and off the supports, it disintegrated, so I've only got half a bicycle, the rear part, and the other one is a complete one, but it's a bit warped. When I dried it, it was too tiny, so that bicycle is also going to be a part of the scrap heap. So I'm just looking at placement and where it will be, that it's in the diorama, visible but not too hidden away, etc., etc. And there's the half a bicycle. So we're placing parts, and then I've also got a wind pump or windmill that is going to be part of this diorama. The sides, what do you call the angle irons, and that's also still on the support, so I'm cutting the supports away using the flush cutting pliers. And be very gentle in doing this, that you don't break the actual part, but just cut the supports away. And there's some very fine pieces in between the angle irons, the corners of this frame. So they also didn't print too well, so that's why this is ending up in the scrapyard. And there's some more sides of this wind pump or windmill, and even some more that broke when I took them off the printer. So there's a good lot of scrap. These are still unpainted. They will be given a treatment of metal colored paint and rust, as will the bicycles with black tires. And there we get an idea of what it will look like. I still have to source a little backdrop of a scrapyard or junkyard. There's even more of the sides that is lying there ready to be crushed up and whatever as scrap metal. And once I'm satisfied with the outlay of the junk in the junkyard, we can look at how we're going to fence it in. And there's some pallets with the junk can be put on. So it is really coming together quite nicely. And then I think, if I recall correctly, that I'm now looking for the gates for the fence, and then we will be placing them just to see where they will work. Yeah, there's the single gate, and I'm trying to use 2 single gates. These are supposed to be sliding gates, or they don't hinge and rotate to open, but they slide on a rail and then open. So I don't want to put them too close to the car having the flat tire. So I think on this diorama the gate will be to the right of the diorama, and then the fence will go past the car on the left, and we'll see how it works out. Now inside the scrapyard there will be a forklift doing some heavy moving, and here I'm going to show how I painted it, and that is quite a process. Again, starting with the rubber black from Tamiya, painting the wheels while they are still on the card as it came off the printer and out of the dryer. And one of the wheels actually came off, but I have got it, so do not despair. The forklift will have 4 wheels and not 3. And again, I'm using the 2-0 brush or 00 brush. I have got brushes ranging up to 4 zeros. That is almost just a single hair for painting very, very fine details. And this painting I only do for either dioramas that I will be selling or for myself, for my own model train layout. I do not paint 3D printed stuff for customers. So, as you can see, it is a slow, tedious process. And painting the sides, the tread, making sure that the whole wheel is covered all the way around. And continuing with that, and thereafter I have to paint the other wheel as well, just making sure that all the tread is covered, little paint on the brush, that I don't splurge all over or splatter all over, and making sure the whole wheel is covered. I can see that one still has like a little dot in the middle that's not covered too nicely, and I'm making sure that now finding the 4th wheel that had decided to come off the supports. There it is, and holding that with a pair of tweezers while painting it. Because trying to hold it with your hands is quite difficult since these items are extremely small. I think that wheel is about 3 millimeters in diameter and probably about 1 millimeter thick or high off the paper that I'm using as a base, just so you can see. So it is quite small, detailed painting. And then people will ask, why do you charge so much for a diorama? Well, here I've only painted 2 of the items. And sorry for that, my dog is here with me and she's not happy. She's growling at something. Well, I've let my dog out, so hopefully now we will not be disturbed again while I'm busy giving commentary on this video, because I do not do commentary as I'm painting. That's going to be too much concentration, and I rather record the audio after I have edited the video. Then I can, basically what I'm doing is watching the video and then recording the audio as I'm watching. So now I'm painting a little chair for the forklift and making sure I leave the bottom unpainted. So there is going to be some area for the glue to grip when I assemble the forklift later. The other items that need to be painted is the forks itself for the forklift, as well as the steering wheel. That will also be black. And then also the frame for the forks. That will also be black. And just making sure I cover all the sides that are visible right now. And then Once I take it off the supports, I will paint the other side that's now facing the bottom to the little plate. And the same with the steering wheel and the frame for the forks. So once all of that is painted, I leave it to dry, and then at a later stage, probably the next day or so, I will remove all these items from the plate, and then I will turn them over, paint the side that is unpainted, again leave them to dry, and once the paint is dried, then I will assemble the whole model. So right now we are just cleaning the brush by painting the little areas on the body of the forklift that may be black in real life, but also that will be hidden by the wheels. So I'm trying to get most of the paint off the brush before I dip it into the finish to clean it. So you can see the paint is getting a little less, but that does not matter as that area will be hidden by the wheel of the forklift. And then once the brush is cleaned, we shall revert to painting in orange. This time I'm using Humbrol. I think it is number 82. And again, painting 82 with enamel paint, and make sure it is extremely well mixed. I've already mixed it here. I didn't want to bore you by showing how I mix paint. I did that right in the beginning with the red paint. So now we are just painting the body, and this time, because it's a much larger area, I'm just using a very cheap little brush. I don't know, that does not have any numbers on it, etc. You can just have a look. Okay, well, that's going to cover quite a nice area, and so I'm just using this little brush and very carefully and gently getting the paint transferred from the brush onto the model, and making sure I don't leave any areas unpainted, because they might be very difficult to get to later. And also, if you get to them to just paint that specific area, you're going to need almost like a single strand of hair instead of a brush. So I'm making sure that I also paint the edges of the model, and the underside I will also paint. And now when there's no more space to hold the model, I grab a pair of tweezers that are spring-loaded that automatically closes, and I hold the model with them, or just put it down, and this tweezer automatically closes, holding it. Then it is quite easy to paint the rest of the model. Again, making sure that every area is covered in paint, and this paint is quite thick, but that also results in it actually flowing as it dries into covering the whole model and seeping into little areas that may be missed, although I'm trying not to miss any areas. So we are covering the whole body and the underside. And then once it is dry, we'll have a look at it, see if it may need a second coat. And then once it is completely dry and assembled, we'll do some weathering on it, because I have yet to see, except a brand new forklift in the showroom, a forklift that does not have a few scrapes and nicks on it because of how and where they work. They are bound to pick up a few little dings and scratches. And one area or one place I used to work had a good couple of forklifts, and every now and again our forklifts that we had at that company worked very hard, and they were serviced very regularly, and sometimes I had the task of liaising with the forklift mechanics, or just showing them where the forklifts were and helping them to get them to the charging station, because they were battery powered or electric forklifts. And I started chatting to some of the mechanics that came to service, and the one guy told me about one incident where some of the forklift drivers thought they were cowboys and they rammed each other with the forklifts, so much so that the one guy's forklift fork rammed straight through the body, through the battery, leaking all the battery acid out onto the floor and almost completely destroying the forklift. I don't know what happened to the driver. It was not at our company, but that poor forklift had quite a bit of damage done to it. So I don't know if it was scrapped after that or not. But as you can see, the painting is continuing and it's quite a nice glossy finish. So as always, thank you for watching and give this video a like and a share with your friends.